Back to another professional picks college basketball video. We split once again last week out. Seems to become a recurring theme for us, giving us a little bit deja vu from last year, but I do think we'll break through sooner than later. Houston completely fell apart in the second half. They had a 14-point lead and ended up losing the game. Just goes to show that their defense, while it's always there, their offense went completely missing in the second half. That's something to keep in mind when betting Houston in the future. On the other hand, Arizona won comfortably and gave us the split. Today, I only have one game for us, and this is going to be taking place tomorrow on Wednesday, 12/14. We got the top 20 matchup we're going to be looking at here. So let's jump right into it. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you're enjoying our videos. Yeah, tell me even if you're fading me. Love the extra interaction. Don't care if you're telling me my pick lost 3 days later after the game. That's about it. Other than that, let's jump into the matchup. We got number 16 UCLA heading to Maryland tomorrow night. This will be taking place at 8 p.m. Central Time. This is a true home game for Maryland, who's lost their last two games out. One at Wisconsin, very tough place to play. And then this last one coming on a neutral site against Tennessee, who is now the number one defensive team in the country, according to KenPom. These teams are pretty similar. They're both fairly undersized. Neither of them has a true center on the roster. So I think they match up pretty well, actually. Jaime Jaquez and Dante Scott I have here as the X factors. Both seniors, both experienced small forwards who do just about everything for their teams. Looking at it a little bit further into UCLA's roster, they also have Jalen Clark, another really good forward, averaging about 6 boards. I believe the leading rebounder on the team. Then you have a guy like Hakeem Hart, who's not a traditional post, but he's still 6'8" for Maryland, has guard-like skills, still obviously rebounds the ball pretty well at that size. KenPom has Maryland at number 17. It's a little bit higher, but they even have UCLA at number 8. UCLA is a top 10 offense in the country. And then Maryland's very balanced, though. They're in the 20s for both their offensive rating as well as their defensive rating in the entire country. And on top of that, Maryland's rankings went down a little bit, especially on the offensive end after playing at Wisconsin and then playing the tough number one defensive team in the country in Tennessee. So I'm not going to look overly into those stats. Obviously, UCLA is a very good team, but Maryland has just played two better defenses. Also, not at home. UCLA, on the other hand, their two losses came in that Vegas tournament where they just kind of fell apart. So, two very good teams. I think both deserve to be ranked, and both are going to be competitive all throughout the season. I do think Maryland is a slightly less talented team. Not that they always lose the game, but I think they're a little bit less talented, and we're definitely seeing that in the line here as we have an even line with Maryland at home. So that covers about the 3 points of a spread that we would have gotten on a neutral court. My thing here is, though, is that Maryland has a true home court advantage. One of the best teams playing at home in the last decade. They win about 34% more of their games when they are at home. So it's just big thing to look into. UCLA lost both their games on neutral site court. I was actually at both of those and can definitely attest that those were actually road games for them with the amount of Illinois and Virginia fans in the building. I don't think UCLA responded too well heading to a tough environment in College Park, Maryland, tomorrow night. Also the biggest game of the night, primetime matchup. Definitely expect the fans to show out as long as those students are all not in finals week. Something to look at, but I think Maryland fans still show up. Top 25 matchup, especially with how bad their team was last year. So another thing to look at, UCLA plays Kentucky this weekend. Not that they're necessarily going to look ahead, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've at least been mentioned in some of their practices or preparation this week. So it's not just a trap game, but I do think this is a tough position for UCLA heading on their first tough road matchup. They've played Stanford, Oregon recently, like Denver. They haven't really been challenged since the main event classic in Vegas, and they lost both of those games. And honestly, didn't look too great. Picked up some wins since then, but have not played top competition as of late. Whereas Maryland's coming off the losses to Wisconsin, Tennessee. I really like them to bounce back here. Actually, after two close losses against very good teams, I think Maryland plays a little bit at a higher level in this one, whereas UCLA hasn't played a great team in a little while. And we're just looking into some specific details here because I really think these teams are extremely similar on paper. A lot of upperclassmen, really run by forwards. Each team's solid senior guards. You got Jameer Young from Maryland, who's leading their team in points and assists right now. Really shoot it from three. And then Tiger Campbell, who's just the ultimate facilitator. Doesn't make too many mistakes and just really plays within himself. I think a true post for either of these teams would give them a great advantage, but Adam Bona, the five-star freshman for UCLA, in his 4 games against Power 5 teams this year, he has yet to score more than 5 points. Even had a 0-point game and a 2-point game. So I'm not expecting much from him, even though they're trying to work him into that starting lineup, give them a little bit more size. So I think Maryland dominates the glass here. They average more rebounds per game with 6'9" Julian Reese, 6'8" Dante Scott, 6'8" Hakeem Hart. They're going to be matching up a lot with Jaime Jaquez, probably Jalen Clark, who's 6'5", and then Singleton. Adam Bona is going to have to get minutes, but he has not played well against good competition so far this year. So I like Maryland with the upper hand in the front court, and just with the overall scenario that this game is going to be on the road, primetime matchup. I like Maryland a lot coming off the 2 losses. If you watch the football videos, we really try to buy low, sell high, and that's the case here in this matchup. Yeah, that's about it for this video. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. If you like UCLA, Tailend Maryland. The play here is Maryland at even money. We're even on the season now, so starting fresh. Maryland's our play here at home. Even line for this Wednesday night matchup. As always, we have our partnership with Prize Picks. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 using our promo code ProPicks. Daily fantasy sports app. Got to sign up recently last week. It's free money to play with, and you could use it in betting illegal states as well. They have tons of promos. Check it out if you haven't already. But once again, Maryland money line, even money is our play today. Let me know what you guys are taking in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.